everybody. Welcome. I'm delighted to invite you all here today, to those of you that have made it into the room. I know some of our colleagues and friends online will not know that there is a tube strike in London for this week, which means that many people are unable to travel. But we're delighted to see so many of you made it here today. I'm really impressed. Today we're celebrating the Commonwealth Startup Fellowship. And I'd like to say, anyone joining online, you'll have a great opportunity as well to get introduced to our founders, find out more about the work that they're doing. We're showcasing the fantastic founders from the fellowship, which is a joint initiative between the Commonwealth Startup Commission, the Imperial Enterprise Lab, and the FCDO, and Imperial College London and Global Ghana. The fellowship has been designed to support some of the most promising entrepreneurs from across eligible low and middle income countries, helping them to scale ventures that tackle pressing challenges in areas such as healthcare, climate resilience, sustainable agriculture, and digital innovation. So you'll get to meet some of them very shortly. This fellowship has been designed with job creation in mind. As many Commonwealth countries face a population explosion, the fellowship supports our community across the world to become job creators, not just job takers. The fellowship also directly connects with Imperial's strategy, Science for Humanity. And at its heart, our strategy is about science, research and innovation to address the world's most urgent challenges. And this is not in isolation. This is in partnership with communities, policymakers and entrepreneurs such as the fellows who are here this evening. So over the past 6 months, our fellows have gone through 6 months of content. They have been working with mentors, industry experts, coaches, some of whom are here today. And they've been building the networks and confidences to take their startup to the next level. You'll hear from them shortly in our pitching session, and I think you will be very impressed. We've done a huge amount of work with them over the last 6 months to get them to this point. And they have made some real tangible progress. So a quick note about today's format. We are split across 2 rooms. We want to give everybody the chance to present, and we have quite a lot of fellows to get through. So we've split it by industry sector. In the other room, we have climate and AgriTech, and this room will focus on HealthTech, Fintech, and infrastructure. However, this is being live streamed, so if you do want to see the other founders in the other room, you're very welcome to watch that back on YouTube afterwards. And for those of you in the room, you'll get a chance to meet with them shortly after this session ends. So today this is part 1 of today's event, and this evening we would like to welcome you all back to part 2 as well. So part 2 will bring together our community for a more in-depth discussion about how this fellowship has worked and what we can do to support entrepreneurs and innovators in low and middle income settings. So that is going to be a high impact event. We have the president of Imperial, Professor Hugh Brady, opening the event. We have Kevin eBay, the commissioner from the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission, who you'll meet in just a moment. And we also have a keynote from Babatunde Shoyoye, co-founder and chief executive of Helios Investment Partners. And then finally, we'll have some of our founders join us on a panel to talk about their experiences over the last 6 months. So we hope you can remain. That's at 6 p.m. So I would love to welcome Professor Kevin eBay up, who has been a fantastic supporter of this program, has kind of been there as the inceptor and brought this program to life, worked with us very closely. Kevin, welcome.
Thanks very much, Sarah. I'm absolutely delighted to join Sarah in thanking everyone for making the time, despite the tube strike, those of you that are joining in person, and those that are also joining us online. Thanks for this very concrete expression of support for this new program, Commonwealth Startup Fellowship. The Commonwealth Scholarship Commission launched this program, this Startup Fellowship, in response to the growing need for job creation across the world, but particularly in low and middle income Commonwealth countries. We do know that in that region of the world, these countries, the regions of the Commonwealth that you've got young people representing 60% of the population, and yet job creation in these parts of the world are not really meeting up with the challenge that is faced by those countries. So the real need for new jobs, for significant increase in jobs in these parts of the world, across the Commonwealth, particularly low to middle income countries, is the primary reason why we have this Commonwealth Startup Fellowship. So, that's why we're doing this. And the commission, we do know based on experience of providing postgraduate scholarships, going back 65 years, we know that talent exists in abundance across the Commonwealth. But this talent needs to be supported, guided, provided with the requisite, support to be able to translate the talents into success, economic growth, into job creation. And that's why we're very delighted that we're working with Imperial College, a world-class institution, number 2 in the world. We are working with the Imperial Enterprise Lab to provide a platform to these talented young people to utilize, translate their talent into job creation, into responding to the challenge, the huge challenge that the Commonwealth faces in terms of job creation. And I think our experience over the past 6 months, of course we do know this previously, but working with Imperial over the past 6 months and seeing the expertise of the team, the world-class expertise, we're very delighted that they are providing and making available the right tools, the right skills to the new fellows that we've selected. And by the way, I don't think we've mentioned this, but when we advertised for this program earlier this year, I think we received about 1,500 applications, and we're only looking for 20 places. So the fellows that we have here today come from a highly competitive process. And as you will see when the pitches start, we're talking about top quality, not just talent, but businesses that have already delivered, that have a track record. So we're delighted that we're working with Imperial to do this, and I'd like to extend heartfelt thanks, appreciation to Imperial College, to the Enterprise Lab for their stellar work, excellent work so far, and we know that this is going to continue. And we also know that the audience here, the investors who are here to listen to the pitches, thanks for giving your time. We very much appreciate your support as well, and we hope that that will translate into concrete relationship with these founders and their businesses. We hope that you would find opportunities that are worth collaborating with. And I'd like to also thank the fellows. I did meet with them for the first time in March this year in Accra. Was completely bowled over by the excellence, by their vision and their track record. So thanks very much for, again, being part of this inaugural Commonwealth Startup Fellowship. And I'd like to end by wishing them the best of luck as they start the pitches in the next few moments. And to say finally that we're very excited as Commonwealth Commonwealth Scholarship Commission. We're very excited to see where their ideas and initiative will take them in the future. So thanks very much, Sarah, and over to you.
Thank you, Kevin. So we're going to move on to the pitching part of the event this evening, which is why you're all here, to hear from our incredible founders. We have a 4-minute slot per founder, so we're going to try and get them to keep to time and pitch this evening. At the beginning of each pitch, there is a slide with the founder's profile and a QR code. That QR code will take you to their profile on their digital profile. And if you scroll to the bottom of that page, you will see there's an opportunity to give them feedback. So those of you online and those of you in the room, if you are willing to do that and you have a great piece of feedback that you want to give our founders, you want to compliment them or you want to tell them they could have done something different, please do that. It's incredibly important for them to get that live feedback. So that will be at the start and at the end of their pitch. So if you want to scan that QR code, please get your device ready to do that. So without further ado, I would like to invite our first fellow, Dennis from E-Moti. Dennis, please give him a round of applause.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well today. So, just before I start, 24 hours. I've been in the UK slightly over 24 hours to understand that the tube and buses actually work efficiently most of the time. But it's good, and it's better than nothing. So, I'd love to welcome you to my country, to Nairobi, Kenya, where we meet Bob. Bob is an employee who needs to get to work every day in the morning. But you have schedules here. In my country, we have hope. Because if you look at these long lines, 30 minutes to 1.5 hours is lost waiting for a bus that you don't know when or if at all will come to a particular stop. You also have innovations like WhatsApp groups, where people share the location of a bus, timings, and this can actually be very crowded and confusing. And Bob needs to make it to his workplace. So you have more than one stop. In this case, there are 3. Can you imagine queues to that particular location or WhatsApp groups to get a bus? By the time you get to work, you're tired, exhausted, demotivated, angry, and so many other things. But pause for a minute. I'd love to bring in Betty, Bob's boss. Imagine Betty having 100, 500, 1,000 employees. What happens is you have 40% missed productivity hours because of this commute struggle. You have $1.2 billion lost in Nairobi alone to Betty's company and billions more in Africa. And you have increased transport costs because you try to solve this problem, but it's not really your work. You're there as a company to do something else. And that's why we created E-Moti. E-Moti is making transport for Bob, businesses, and groups much more efficient and reliable. And we believe that we can do this in a green way. So I'd love for you to meet Manara. Manara gives you various things, bus schedules, you're able to track, you're able to get live notifications of where a bus is, so you don't have to wait forever for a bus that you don't know if it's going to come to where you are. And you have direct routes to your workplace. But what does this really mean for Bob? It means that he gets to work rejuvenated. He's able to be more productive. He's able to spend less because he's going one direction to work and back home to be with his daughter, Zoe. And now meet Manara for Betty. This is a platform that is accessed by the company that gives you dashboards so she can see where 500 Bobs are at any instant on our vehicles. And you have passenger clustering. So if you have 20 Bettys, 20 companies that is, and 500 different employees, our platform actually helps you see that and much, much more. 500 Bobs, not a worry. And we partner with electric bus owners because we think transport can be done much more efficiently with bigger numbers, and it can be done green. And I'll tell you why in a moment. So our average wait time is reduced by 80%. you have 35% trip duration reduced and 25 to 40% cost reduction because you have many people moving at the same time. This is how our business model looks like. It's B2B. So our the corporate entities get our platform and pay us to provide the service together with buses and vans. And we actually have two models. So the company can pay fully, or we can have a co-pay model where the company pays some and the employee pays the rest. The market for this is actually very big. In Nairobi alone, it's at $108 million. And in Africa, it's at $30 billion of a problem. We're trying to tap it to 1 to 3%, that is $1.08 million to $3.24 million. So remember what I talked about the environment and using electric vehicles? Africa's population is booming to 1.5 billion by 2050, 60% living in urban areas. What does this mean? It means that for every vehicle we put on the road, you have 72 metric tons of carbon being emitted. And as such, we need transport that actually doesn't kill our planet, but also helps achieve and solve the overall problem of transport. So in our pilot, for 1 year, we've moved 100,000 people, done 1,200 trips, $50,000 in revenue, and offset 51 metric tons of carbon with 45% gross profit margin because of our model. And I did not introduce myself, sorry I did. My name is Dennis Kirara Mushoki, the CEO and co-founder of E-Moti. I'm an aeronautical engineer by background, and I have a background in finance as well. My co-founder is Billy Mwangi in Kenya, brilliant young man, geospatial engineering background, and Rebecca Chirono, our chief marketing officer, who is a guru in marketing. These are our experts, our developers. We call them the team, and they're watching. Hello, team. And we call them the office because they're smart, but they're funny. And these are our advisors who range from FMCG to Fintech to ecosystem builders. And this is a crew that we piloted with who have made everything work every day. Our current ask is $200,000 actually. And with $200,000, we can be able to make $400,000 in revenue, ARR, in the next 1 year and be able to expand our fleet to operate for 20 corporate entities. Join us today as we build the rails of transport in Africa. Thank you.
Just going to give you a moment if you didn't get a chance to scan Dennis's QR code. Please do. For those of you online, you're very welcome to scan Dennis's QR code and give him some feedback. I'm sure he would really appreciate that. So thank you, Dennis. It's been a pleasure to get to know you over the last 6 months. So next we're going to move on to Hexpressions. So I would like to welcome Abby Manu to the stage. Welcome, Abby.
Globally, over 1 billion people need a home today. And this number would go up to 2 billion by 2030. Hello, everyone. I am Abhimanyu Singh, co-founder of team Hexpressions. Construction is a huge industry. But unfortunately, this industry alone creates 40% of CO2 emissions worldwide. And UK is no different. If we talk about the UK scenario, over 30 million homes will need retrofit by 2050. And 40% of UK emissions come from home construction. And the present system, which is already there, the gypsum system, creates a huge carbon footprint. And you will be surprised to know NHS spends £1.4 billion every year because of the cold home illness. And we are going to challenge this. We have invented a new age partition walling system. We call it composite paper honeycomb panels that is made up of paper and coconut fiber. Yes, you have heard it right. It's paper and coconut fiber. It's a prefabricated drywall partition walling system. It's a plug-and-play system. It's really cost-effective. It's fast. It's modular. It's sustainable. It's a patented system, and we have validated this in India for past 5 years now. And now we are expanding to UK. If you can see, this is a sandwich panel, which comes in the size of 1.2 meters by 2.4 meters. And it's made up of recycled paper and coconut fiber. It's a plug-and-play system. It's a prefabricated system. We make everything in factory and transport it on site. It's 100% termite-proof. It's weather-proof. It's fire-resistant. In terms of advantages, it is 50% lighter than the current gypsum system. It reduces the CO2 emissions also by 40%. This is 30% faster. And we do not use a single drop of water during manufacturing, installation, and assembly. So even if we focus 1% of the UK market, that's like removing 500,000 cars from the roads. In terms of market, UK drywall market is over 30 billion pounds. And by focusing only 1% of this market in the next few years, we can generate 15 million pounds of the revenue. Because now we have validated this market nicely in India. Because it's a building material, you need a lot of material testing. So we have done tests for water, fire, termite, insulation, acoustics, everywhere. But because it's a part of the system, once we move forward, once we raise funds, we will need a test for wind, earthquake, and cyclones. Our model is really simple. It's a B2B model. We work with contractors, wholesalers, and architects. In UK, when we are moving, we'll be licensing our technology because we have got a process patent in India. Now we'll be going for a PCT. And moving forward, because we save a lot of CO2 emissions, carbon credits will be the next phase. We have done over 1,000 panels installed in India. Now we're ready to move. We have 15 clients worldwide. We have already 5 LOIs in UK. And we have won 30 awards globally that has somehow fueled our journey. In terms of funding, we are looking to raise £500,000. Most of that will go into testing and certifications, and the rest will sales, marketing, and team building. That will help us establishing our market in UK and Europe. And we are hoping that by 2027, we'll be in Europe and Africa also. In terms of team, me and Shilpi are the co-founders, having over 15 years of industry experience. We are 7 people, and we have worked with companies like IKEA Foundation, Selco Foundation, BMWs, and everywhere. And now we are ready to expand to UK and looking forward for your support. So let's decarbonize the British home retrofit. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Abhimanyu. And I just want to say hello online to Abhimanu's wife, who I had the pleasure of meeting a couple of days ago. So I'm sorry you can't join us today. So we're going to give you a chance to scan the next startup. So unfortunately, Carlton Ford couldn't be with us today due to some personal issues, but I still wanted to give him a platform and an opportunity for people to review his deck and the information about his startup. So Innovative Clan have created School Pay, which is a seamless fee payments, microloans, and real-time financial visibility for accessible education. And they have done an amazing job and had significant traction. So if that is something that you're interested in, please do check out Carlton's profile. I'll just leave that for a moment. Okay, next up, we have Nishant from lifeandlimb.ai. Nishant, welcome. Please give Nishant a round of applause.
It's good to be here. Welcome to Life and Limb. We are a medical devices company based in India, making prosthetics or robotic arms. The problem is that it is difficult to service, and we see that internet is full of DIY devices, which are made using 3D printing, saying that it is a cheaper prosthesis. The next is Elon Musk making brain implants that can be the thing of future where invasive surgeries would be quite common. We are in between 2010 and 30s where we are using multi-jet fusion and SLS to make industry-grade child parts. And most of the electronic components, including battery, sensors, are made in-house, thus bringing affordability, accessibility, and aspirational products. The problem is that 47% of the people say it is too expensive, and it is not covered under insurance in most of the countries like India. Only 3% of the people acquire such devices. On the left, you can see the myoelectric hand, or an electromechanical device, which is single degree, which is the most affordable product that we do, also on the display. The second one is a multi-articulated hand with individual finger movements on the right. The product is called Bionically, which is multi-articulated prosthetic hand with anatomical design. It has a rotatable supination-pronation motion, advanced EMG sensors, a variety of colors since we are 3D printing, and display module with compliant fingers so that we can avoid breakage during fall. The product revolves around a technology which is called EMG, electromyography. Imagine you're touching your phone screen with a plastic pen. It doesn't work, right? Because our body has 0.7 milliamperes of current. And that current is responsible for other devices like pacemaker or ECG machines that you see in the clinical settings. We are using the same current of the body to govern the muscles and thus the prosthetic hand. Like this one, the product is being used by many of the active users, like grasping a door handle, and other activities of daily living are possible with this kind of device. I'm sorry, the videos are not working. But it is completely non-invasive. The prosthetic hand is being made by the registered professionals who are called prosthetist and orthotist. And it is being fitted using a socket prepared by polypropylene material. But is the market really crowded? Not so. There are 36 companies globally. 4 of them are in India. They're lacking on 3 factors. First is the innovation. They have limited design inventions over the past decade. The cost is really high because they are made in the Western countries where insurance covers the cost and then exported to countries like India. The products are dependent on components for batteries and sensors which are not made by OEMs. We are able to solve that, making 98% of the components in-house, and largely supported by Government of India initiatives in the form of grants and awards. We have represented the company at various national and international platforms, including thanks to Imperial for giving us an opportunity. And through that grant money, we are able to do multiple IPR, patent applications, design registrations, and 4 US PCT applications. We are seeking $1 million in the funding that would enable us to reach out to 5,000 prosthetic hand users over the next 24 months. And we have already done 100K USD in revenue over the last 15 months. We are a team of 12 based in India. I'm Nishant Agarwal, founder and CEO, alongside a wonderful set of mentors and advisors from academia as well as clinical settings. We are delivering our 150th product today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nishant. And I'll just give a moment again for anybody who wants to scan the QR code. As I said, if you scan the QR code and you scroll down to the bottom of the screen, you will see a field to give feedback. So anyone who's just joined online or in the room, please do that. It means a lot to these founders to get your feedback and comments and connections. So I'd like to also just say, you may have noticed that the founders so far in this room have something in common, and the next few who will be coming up share that same commonality. We have separated these rooms by sector. So we do have women on our program. They are in the other room, I assure you. So if you watch back the other stream, you will see them in action. And many of our founders who are pitching today have female co-founders. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. I'm delighted to welcome up next Sangudi from Saratani AI.
8 years ago, my aunt died from cervical cancer, simply because it was not detected in time. And this is not only the story about my aunt. Every 2 minutes, a woman dies from cervical cancer, with over 300,000 women died in the year 2022. 90% of these occurring in lower and middle income countries, including Tanzania. 1 out of 100 of women have access to cervical cancer screening. But when you look behind, you'll find this disheartening reality. It takes 3 pathologies to give diagnosis of cervical cancer. The process takes 1 up to 3 weeks to get the results, making the process labor-intensive and expensive to our mothers, sisters, and daughters. That's why we created Saratani AI, because I know what it's like to lose someone due to cervical cancer. We are digitalizing the process for cervical cancer by using our smart camera, which you can connect to any smartphone in the world. And the way how it does, it captures the image of the cervix Powered by AI, it can highlight exactly what the lesion is and give the results instantly. There is no need of waiting for weeks for something that we can get in under 2 minutes. Imagine in a world where any trained doctor or nurse, they can perform cervical cancer screening regardless of the resources they have, getting the results in under 2 minutes with an accuracy of more than 95%, which is higher than the industrial standard of 79%, making it affordable to our mothers, sisters, and daughters. We are not on the key players in this market, but we train our model by using local available data sets that were collected in Tanzania, making it more easily scalable in lower and middle income countries, reflecting the context of our setting. Cervical cancer is a global problem, so it's a global opportunity with a US market of over 7.9 billion pounds per year, with serviceable obtainable market of 50 million pounds, which is attributed by increase in prevalence of cervical cancer, but also government initiative for cervical cancer screening. We work with both public and private hospitals, offering both hardware and software for cervical cancer screening with a subscription fee of £10 per test. We offer licenses for developing a solution in other medical platforms. So far, we have conducted 2 pilots, collected over 5,000 images. We have raised over £8,000 for research and development, but are ethically approved by Muhimbili University of Western Allied Sciences in Tanzania. We are looking for £250,000 to further develop our solution, but also to scale to reach the wider network of our mothers, sisters, and daughters. We have completed the data collection process, which is its first in kind in East Africa. We are currently in validation phase where we want to move from the accuracy of 95 to 99% and looking to have IP by October 2025 and launching by December 2025. We have a strong team with a strong working culture with diverse of skills. I myself am Sangund, a medical doctor, but also machine learning expert. We have engineer Anton Mipao, who has over 5 years experience of deploying AI-based solution in healthcare. Join us in saving the lives of our mothers, sisters, and daughters by making it quick and save life with Saratani AI so that we can prevent them from dying and losing them like my late aunt. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are going to move on to Stephen from Lifesten Health. Stephen, would you like to come down?
Thank you very much. So, 75% of all deaths are as a result of non-communicable diseases or lifestyle diseases. Diseases like diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and the likes. And today, in the next 4 minutes, I'm going to talk to you about how we are solving this problem and how you can improve your lifestyle over the long term. Hi, my name is Ogweno Stephen, and we are building your personalized wellness assistant. We are in the business of creating long-term, sustainable health habits so that you are able to improve your health over the long term. So I have a quick question for us here in the audience and for the people online. How many of us have had a health goal? We normally do this at the start of the year. I already can see a few hands raised. So this could be, we want to reduce weight, or we want to eat 50 vegetables per day. Or sometimes we just want to journal and note it down in our books, taking care of our mental health. However, and we go and we buy the journal and, we start journaling on the vegetables and we buy the weights or get that gym subscription. But what ends up happening is that at the end of the year, statistically, over 90% of individuals never get to hit those goals. That journal just has 5 pages covered. We stopped tracking our nutrition a long time ago. Gym subscription, they're very happy you didn't go the rest of the year and they get to keep your money. We all know how it goes. So why is it hard for us to continuously engage in healthy behavior. The reason is we usually don't have the time, the money, or the motivation to continuously engage in these health behaviors. Clearly, staying healthy shouldn't be this hard. Why does this matter? As I started, 75% of all deaths, which is 3 out of every 4, is as a result of lifestyle diseases like obesity, hypertension, mental illnesses, just to mention a few. What are we doing to solve this challenge? So, I want you to imagine this. Imagine that there could be something that helps you to scan your face in 30 seconds and gives you your blood pressure, your mental stress index, and 13 other key health indicators using AI. Then imagine that off of this health data, we develop for you a customized health plan that focuses on your physical, mental, and nutritional health so that it's holistic, and it designs this in challenges so that every day engaging in health behaviors feels like a game. Now, here is the interesting part. Imagine every day that you go and walk those 10,000 steps, or maybe 6,000 because you don't want to walk a lot. Imagine every day you journal, every day you eat that vegetable and you document it, that you are earning points, and these points, you can redeem them for real rewards, like spa treatments, gym subscription, shopping vouchers, heck, maybe even a trip to Dubai because you did so well over the year improving your health. Then, over the long term, imagine that all of the data that you've been putting into the platform, we take all of it, use AI to be able to then predict your risk of future diseases and then further customize your program so that you are preventing these diseases from happening. Well, you don't have to imagine this anymore because that is exactly what we have built with Lifesten Health. So far, what we've built has been able to be used by 1.6 million people in our public-private partnership with the government of Rwanda, which piloted our product to their country for 10 months. We've been able to have over 11,000 active premium users across 33 countries in the world with a 95% retention rate. Clearly, people are not leaving if you're rewarding them to be healthy and encouraging them to continuously engage in healthy behavior. What's our traction so far? We've been able to make 115,000 plus in revenue since 2023. We have partnerships with over 60 public and private health facilities. So these are organizations that give you the rewards, but also government and health facilities. We have 2 workplace partnerships underway, and we have 6 letters of intent signed with health insurances which are keen on adopting our solution. We've also received 2 acquisition offers so far, showing that we are really on the right path. We serve individuals, governments, and organizations, and our business model is software as a service under subscription-based and a freemium model for individuals to use. At the moment, we are piloting a B2B subscription-based model with workplaces and health insurances, and over the long term, we are looking at data and monetization. We have an incredible team that is very passionate about solving this problem. Myself, I have experience working with other international organizations like the World Health Organization, the Global NCD Alliance. My co-founder, Peace, has a lot of experience as well locally, working with nutritionists as a caregiver, and Milan as well, working in deep tech and focusing on health. This plus 11 other people are working together to ensure that we are bringing this to life. We are currently raising 800,000 in grants, SAFE, and equity, but we are also looking for partnerships and warm introductions. And in 3 years, we are hoping to achieve a monthly recurring revenue of 70,000, 10x our users to 100,000, and expand across the African and European markets. We've won several awards and recognitions, including Most Innovative Health Tech Innovation in Africa in 2023, with support from Google, NVIDIA, Imperial, and others. We want to ask you to join us in globalizing personalized healthcare and ensure that we prevent those 75% statistics. Thank you very much.
Stephen, do you have a podcast? The reason I asked is because Stephen has the best voice, and if he didn't have a podcast, I would have to ask you to make a podcast, because he really does have a fantastic voice. Thank you so much. I think it's been great so far. I would like to also welcome up now Taiwo from Radease. Please give Taiwo a round of applause.
Hello, everyone. It's good to be here. All right, I'm Taiwo. I'm CEO and co-founder of Radease, and we're working to simplify access to medications in Africa. So I want you to imagine for a moment your mother or a father, and you have a sick child that needs care. So I can imagine that in the UK, you probably go to a GP or even a specialist, right? A pediatrician. And then the child gets diagnosed, and then medications are prescribed, and you pick it up at the pharmacy. But that's not the case in Africa. You skip step one, and you just go straight to the community pharmacy, because they are not just places we go to buy medications. They are the backbone of primary health care. Now, imagine you go to the nearest community pharmacy, but the shelves are empty. They don't have the medications that you need for that child, and you're watching your child suffer in pain, and then you go from one shop to the other, and eventually you see a pharmacy that has that medication, but it's too expensive. You cannot afford it. And then eventually you get the one that you can afford, but there's a 7 in 10 chance that that medication is counterfeit, which means it might not work. And that's even fine if it doesn't work. Worse still, it could hurt that child, and that child could die. And that's the reality. And it's not just about that child. It's about 600,000 Nigerians who die annually because essential medications are either unavailable, unsafe, or unaffordable. And why is this problem so prevalent? The challenge is that those community pharmacies and small medicine stores that I talked about, 95% of them are small and micro businesses. And what that means is that they are small, so big pharma would not sell to them. Big distributors, because they buy in inches and in pieces, so they go to middlemen and they buy that more expensive prices, and they pass on that cost to the patients, the communities that they serve. For some of them, they want, because it's so expensive, so they go to the open drug market where they could buy it at more affordable price. And because, medicines, there are multiple brands, so they have to deal with multiple suppliers. So for some of them, they don't want to deal with 15, 20 suppliers. So they go to that open drug market where things are clustered. But 70% of medications in the open drug market might be counterfeit. And then because they are small, they don't have access to financing, and their shelves are empty. So what Radease is doing to solve this problem is to aggregate demand from these small healthcare providers so that we can give them access to bulk purchase discounts. So on this side, we are getting demand. Then on the other side, we are getting supply from a vetted network of manufacturers and distributors so that they can get access to everything they need in one place without having to go to the open drug market. And we're using technology to power that entire process from end to end. And then they get all of these things delivered conveniently to them at their store. So bulk purchase discounts, they get everything in one place, and they get access to flexible financing so they never run out of supplies. Today, we make money by a 12 to 25% markup on orders. We save these guys up to 60%, and we take a modest 12 to 25%. In the future, we're going to make money from multiple revenue streams. There's a massive market. It's trillions of dollars globally. In Africa, it's about a $50 billion market, and Africa has the largest annual growth rate in the pharma market globally. It's a $3 billion market in Nigeria, and if we take 10% of that market, that's potentially $300 million. And because we serve the underserved providers, we have a high chance of doing 10% of the market within the next 5 to 7 years. In 1 year since we launched, we've acquired over 500 businesses. We've generated up to $150,000, more than $150,000 in revenue. We've acquired over 180 supplier partnerships, and we've grown 11x quarter over quarter with a 95% fulfillment rate. And that's important because the average fulfillment rate in the industry, I said, these guys go to the open job market because the average fulfillment in the industry is about 38%, and we've done almost triple that since we launched. And beyond the commercial metrics, 80% of the businesses that we serve are women-owned, and 69% of them reported improved economic outcomes. In fact, some of those women-owned businesses who had been financially excluded, now they've expanded their businesses, they've opened multiple stores since they started partnering with us. And through these providers, we've reached over 5 million people in just 1 year, unique patients in just 1 year. And within the next 12 to 18 months, we project that we can reach 50 million people monthly, and we could expand to serve over 2,500 providers. So most of our competitors are focused on the top 15% of the market, and a lot of them run asset-heavy models. So they are like wholesalers, just digitized wholesalers. But Radease is working across the ecosystem from hand to hand, aggregating supply, aggregating demand, and we are focused on underserved providers, the bottom 85% who serve the chunk of the population. Our team is uniquely positioned to solve this problem. I have my background in healthcare and in supply chain, started my first business at 15, and I've spent the last 17 years building businesses across healthcare, supply chain, and I've built experience. My co-founder also had worked in the startup space for more than 10 years, and he worked on a similar solution, got a couple of $1 million in funding, and he brings that experience to helping us solve this problem. We're looking to raise $750,000 in funding. We want to use that to expand the scale of our growth. Currently, we do about 30K monthly recurring revenue. We want to grow that to 100K within the next 12 months. We want to improve, integrate AI, blockchain, and analytics into our platform. I want to hire for key roles. Today, we are streamlining procurement for underserved providers. But in the future, we're going to work across the supply chain from end to end. We're going to improve visibility, traceability, and transparency across the supply chain so that the drugs can move efficiently from the manufacturers who cut out the middlemen to the patients who need them the most. We want you to join us to build a healthier and more prosperous world together. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Taiwo. And I just want to acknowledge that when Taiwo sent us his slides, they were absolutely perfect. There was an error with the formatting on our side. So Taiwo's slides were beautiful. So I apologize for that, Taiwo. So I just wanted to let you know that. So these are all of the founders that have been pitching in this room today. We do still have other pitches happening in the main room that those of you in the room would have encountered when you registered. So you are very welcome now to go and catch the end of those pitches, or there will be some catering back at the main entrance where you started. So some of my colleagues will be helping you wayfind back over there again. I'd just like to also say that for those of you that couldn't make it today and that are online and would like to meet any of our founders in person or online, please get in contact with a member of the team. We would love to make that happen for you, either while they're in London all this week, and some of them are in town next week too, or we can connect you by email for a Teams call or a virtual call. So please take this opportunity to get in contact with us. You can catch us on csf@imperial.ac.uk. That's csf@imperial.ac.uk. I'd also like to welcome you to join us at 6 o'clock. Again, for those in the room, this will be back in the main room. For those of you online, you should have been shared the joining details for this second event. And this second event will go into more detail about how to support innovation and entrepreneurship across low and middle income settings. And we do have some really fantastic speakers this evening. So if you are able to join us, please do. And there will be some refreshments later after the 6 o'clock event. So I'd like to say thank you to our founders. Can we give them another round of applause, please? We have put them through the ringer yesterday with lots of pitching training, performance training, pitch deck changes. So I'd like to say thank you to you guys for being so gracious and taking our feedback on board. And I really think it's been a pleasure to see you over the last 6 months. And I really hope that we see you grow and flourish into the future, and you tell us about all of your great successes. So again, the QR codes that you would have seen throughout this afternoon, you can connect with our founders via that. You can find out more information. You can also see the other founders on the program should you wish to, and any investors on the call, do it now or regret it later, is what I would say. Thank you, everybody. I hope to see you in part 2. For those of you that want to join the other room, please follow my colleagues and they will take you down there. Thank you.